NGOs, or non-governmental organizations, feed the hungry and provide medical care to victims of disasters in the U.S. and around the world. But your tax dollars help fund them, and many use that to push political agendas. Scott Thuman investigates.
Welcome to another DOJ subcommittee hearing where we will highlight more abuses of your tax dollars.
A hearing on government efficiency may sound dry, but one this summer came with an audacious late-night style title: Public Funds, Private Agendas, NGOs Gone Wild. But no one was laughing.
The left has funneled hundreds of billions of federal tax dollars through non-governmental organizations, NGOs, to push destructive policies and line the pockets of their friends and allies,
raising concerns that some non-governmental organizations may be using public money to advance private and political interests. Republican lawmakers are pushing for spending cuts.
But charity isn't given at the strong arm mandate of the federal government requiring taxpayers.
Between 2023 and 2024, more than $300 billion in tax dollars were given to over 100,000 NGOs.
The nonprofit tail wags the Democratic Party dog. It is enormously more important who is head of the Ford Foundation, the Open Society Foundation, Arabella Advisors, than whoever's chairing the DNC this afternoon.
Scott Walter is president of the Capital Research Center, which analyzes how foundations, nonprofits, and special interest groups use money to influence politics and public policy.
Over 35,000 nonprofits get most of their money from the government. In the case of federally funded nonprofits, typically these are part of the left-wing political infrastructure. So you have things like the Urban League, for instance, or the Solidarity Institute, which is a subsidiary of the AFL-CIO Labor Union Confederation.
An analysis of that NGO, which promotes worker rights and union organizing worldwide, indicates more than 86 million taxpayer dollars have been awarded since 2008, the majority of it during the Biden administration. Also take, for example, Catholic Charities. Between 2021 and 2024, the charity most notable for its work with illegal immigrants on the southern border received more than $2 billion in federal grants.
Under the Biden administration, when they had their disastrous border policies, had this explosion of refugees, many of whom were not really refugees. They were just folks like, hey, I want to get to America and try to make some extra money. And that meant more money for these charities.
Because the more that happens, the more they're getting in support,
yes,
more money
exactly.
they get.
And obviously, you know, there really are refugees from terrible places around the world who come, and you having the Lutherans or the Catholics or whatever help them, that's a noble, good thing. But the problem is, when more and more of the budget of those nonprofits is coming from the government, well then they want to keep it coming.
But there's no way that Democrats or left-leaning groups are the only ones who take advantage of this opportunity. I'm sure right-wing groups do too, right?
It is true that there are groups that do take it. So USAID was a big funder of both the International Republican Institute, which is a Republican entity that helped teach people in other countries how to run elections. There's a Democrat counterpart to that, and it got money too. So it is certainly not exclusively on the left, but the differences in the amount of money are enormous.
Well, do you see the government at some point just saying, we're not going to keep doling out all this money?
DOJ, God bless them, has stopped some of it, but there's so much more. And to be fair, it's not easy to write an always rule, right? Because, as I said, let's say some terrible thing happens in a country, and we, in our great tradition of generosity, say, well, we want to help your starving people who've had this catastrophe. At the same time, it's true, it would be so much better if they were true charities not taking that government money, because government money, it's not poison, but it easily turns into poison.
With the DOJ effort still thoroughly underway in the federal government, it is a number many on Capitol Hill want to see under closer watch. For Full Measure, I'm Scott Thuman in Washington, D.C.